again for a fun, deliciously motivated mindset conversation with Moira and Deb. Da, da, da.
Da, 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 da. Hey, Moira. Hey, people.
Hey, everybody. This is fun. I'm looking forward to our conversation and see what kind of rabbit holes we dive down today.
Oh my gosh.
Well, because we always do. We always do. It's always so much fun. I hope our listeners enjoy it as much as we do.
I know. I was thinking that the other day. I was thinking, here we just get on here. We're blah, 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 blah. It's like two old friends, like we've known each other for years.
But that's the best way. You know, I was just talking to somebody the other day who's just launched her podcast, and she has got to the point where she has so much fun doing them. She doesn't care if people listen to or not. And I thought, you know, I'm kind of like that too. Like, you know, I have so much fun talking to Deb. It doesn't really matter if people listen or not.
Well, the thing is, what we tend to do is we tend to talk for half an hour, 45 minutes before we do our podcast.
I know.
Well, I mean, I know sometimes we've booked to do our podcast and we've ended up waffling and gone, oh, we've run out of time. How did 3 hours disappear?
Whoops, running out of time. Too funny.
Yeah.
But today,
so what are we talking about today?
We're talking about what is the law of attraction. And you know, this is an area I love to talk about, because I've actually have come to the point where I don't work with people unless they actually really understand what the law of attraction is. Because to me, so here's the thing. There are a lot of people out there that say law of attraction doesn't work, or it's not true, and just a little side piece on that is the law of attraction is considered a universal law, but it's actually a sub-law. It's a subset to the law of vibration. And the universal law of vibration says everything vibrates. Everything has a vibration. And underneath that is the law of attraction says that like attracts like. So think about that. Think about somebody in a group place, a group setting, who starts to say what's wrong with politics or what's wrong with this leader or something. And what that person who is expressing a negative opinion will attract all the people that want to have that kind of conversation. And they will create it more and more. So that's what I'm saying about like attracts like. Because for myself, if I was in that kind of environment, and actually this is the truth about me, is that if I'm in a group environment and somebody starts talking negatively or gossiping, I get repulsed. Like I will be...
you're like the truck, beep, 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 beep.
Exactly, like just delicately, gracefully backing out of this one.
Yeah. As soon as you start talking, I'm like, I've seen myself do that. Literally, if anyone was filming me, like, do you have Big Brother over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like Big Brother. Someone's watching you, and you could just literally see me go.
Yeah.
Till like a minute later, I've literally left, and I'm way on the other side of the room.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is that's because in both of our examples there is that we know our energy and we recognize that's an energy that's not in alignment with me, and so I don't belong here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go find my tribe, sit and talk to people like Deb.
It's also having the confidence that you're going to beep, 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 truck reverse out of the conversation or out of the scenario without offending people, but also honoring your own truth.
Yes. But you see, here's the other part. That's a really interesting piece, because in my younger years I would have probably stayed in that conversation because I thought it would cause offense, or I don't want to offend. But do you know what? I came to realize that I actually offend them when I pretend to be someone I am not.
Faking it. Yeah.
Because then I'm not being authentic to me, but I'm not being authentic to them either.
Yeah, and I think that's the key thing there, is to remember, and that when we talk about the law of attraction, energy. What energy you get out, which is like when you said like attracts like, the energy you get out, you get back.
That's right.
If you which is exactly the same thing. And I just think of that. I think of times when I've been in icky situation and something's happened, and I look at that and I go, okay, what did you give out?
Yes.
You know, you can't just say this person's an a-hole or whatever,
Right.
or they're moaning. You attracted that in for some particular reason. So why were you standing there and listening to that? What did you attract in for that? And how did you get out of that without offending? I don't know if it's an age thing. It might be an age thing. I guess for me, I think my life is so precious now. It's not about pleasing people. It's it's honoring me, but also honoring them, like you say.
Yeah.
You know, if you're moaning about something, I'm not honoring my friendship with them. I'm not giving them something. I'm just letting them bleat, which sometimes people just want to do, which is great.
And that's okay. There's a time and place for stumps for that kind of thing.
That's
for
right.
Sure. Yeah.
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 Like attracts like is very similar to mine about the energy. What you give out, you get back.
Yes.
You know.
But
Well, like they say, when you're employed, it's easier to find a job than being not employed.
Yes. Perfect example. That's exactly right. But you know, the other part about this is I started saying that there are people, and I have conversations with people that say the law of attraction doesn't work because I did my vision board, I had the picture up of the relationship that I wanted,
Don't
or
even
the
go
house
down
I
the
wanted.
secret. Yeah.
$1 million in my bank account, had the picture on the wall, and it didn't work. So here's the misconception, and well done on bringing
or they
the
didn't get.
movie.
Can I just say? Or they didn't get that $1 million check.
Yeah.
In the post.
Yes. And yet
That's
they've
the
got the
one,
picture of it on the wall or on the ceiling.
And I went and collected every day from the letterbox, and I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Where's it going to come from? Or,
So here's the really, really important piece that I think, and I think that the movie The Secret, the book The Secret is awesome, but the movie The Secret set people up for this sort of misunderstanding that the idea was all I have to do is visualize something in my mind or put a picture of it on my wall, or I have to say mantras every day or affirmations that is mine.
Whatever.
But if you have what I call the mosquito of doubt.
Oh, mosquito of doubt. Oh my gosh, that killed me then when you said that. That I felt that mosquito of doubt just go beep, beep, beep. Yep.
There's no visualizing or creating anything that's going to work for you now, because that mosquito of doubt is going, who the hell are you, or you can't have that, or you're not good enough, or so right there, that is what your vibration is. And so what you're going to do is you're going to attract lots of reasons to prove that doubt.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's then, like I say, that's when I see people coming and say, oh, well, I tried that. I tried the vision board. I tried that, saying these mantras or doing the visualization, or even to your point, that I went to the mailbox every day because
I know, I'm visualizing. I went to the mailbox every day. Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that it doesn't happen. People do win the lottery and get that $1 million check. But just because you don't doesn't mean there's something wrong with you, or that there's something wrong with the law of attraction.
Can I just say, when you mentioned the lottery, that cracks me out so much, because people go, I haven't won the lottery, and I'm like, how often do you buy a ticket? Well, I don't, just maybe once a month. Okay. Now, winning a lottery, I don't know the statistics of that, but they'll be very small, I would suspect, of the chances. But it's like, well, if you don't buy a ticket actively, and maybe once a month. Okay. I just zip my mouth and go, okay, what can I say? Oh, I don't even buy tickets. Well, hello, that's even worse than once a month.
I had that conversation with somebody, and she says, oh yeah, but I could find a ticket on the sidewalk. I mean, yes, I guess you could. Technically speaking, in the grand scheme of things, you could. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, I remember a teacher of mine talking about the law of attraction, and she was saying, there's so many people will sit on their couch in their living room with the door shut and saying, I wish I had a relationship, or I'm going to manifest my
that's a great
relationship.
One. Sitting in the room with their door shut.
Yeah. And she said that was what she said. It's like, guess what? That partner is never going to show up unless you get up out
unless you have a fire and the fireman comes, or something
You have
happens
to
that
get up and open the door. You have to open the door.
That's
So,
a great one.
I know, I always love that. But that, and Deb, you and I've talked about this before, about clarity. What you're looking for is actually technically looking for you. So if you're looking for riches or success or a partner or a specific job or career, it's looking for you too. But your thing is to be the receptacle or the receiver of it. So what does that mean? Well, you have to show up in the right places. You have to make the calls. You have to do the emails. You have to meet the people and say hello and say yes to opportunities. You have to, if you're trying to get a relationship, you have to go and have your online profile and go and have a few drinks with random people to actually get there, right?
You've got to get off your ass.
Mm-hmm. There.
And take action.
Well, it's not a
if
passive
you want a
thing,
smaller
right?
butt, you've got to, yeah.
It's not
it's
a passive
action.
thing. It is action.
Yeah. It's thoughts and actions.
Yeah.
Equal. And commitment.
Yes.
You know.
Oh, I love that. I'm glad you brought that up, because to me, lack of commitment is saying to yourself that you don't matter. Right? Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Because if I really matter, then I am going to make the commitment to do what it takes to get what I want to create or where I want to be. Right?
Yeah.
And I mean,
like that's really just sunk in. Yeah.
There is yucky things that we have to do. It's not all chocolate and ice cream. Well, it could be, but if you want to.
Well, if you have an intention, or the law of attraction, you're looking at a smaller weight, by saying eating chocolate ain't going to happen. We're talking about different kinds of action. Yeah.
But you see,
like that
this comes into the
of doubt.
Yes, because that's the thing, is to understand that the law of attraction is actually reacting to your vibration, right? It's and your vibration is your feelings. And so if you're doubting and listening to that doubting voice, then that's all you're getting, right? Okay, now we resumed recording because Deb had muted herself, and so
I muted because I had a little cough. And now I don't even know. I was talking about other people. Yeah, it's about the people around you, and what you talked about like attracts like, and I talked about energy, and it's what we have ourselves. Who. If you've had a decent sleep, you wake up more energized. If you've had a rough sleep and you've only had 2 hours, you wake up, and I call it a brown cardie. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I love brown cardies. I have a couple of them. But I'm talking about the ones who have the slumped over shoulders and the brown cardies and slippers, and they just get by day to day. And so
just coping and coasting.
Yeah, coping. So if you're in that energy, if you have a bad sleep, and you only have maybe 3 hours sleep, or you've had a rough sleep, tossing and turning, you will wake up differently. So it's about changing your energy from that sleep. If you have, if you eat and binge on junk, you are going to feel yuck. Yeah. So, this is all around your energy. If you go to a business event and they're moaning and groaning about a particular person who's a client of yours or a friend of yours, you're going to have that slump. Yeah. And, or brown cardie, you're going to experience those things. So it's how can you quickly shift your mindset to go out of that by respecting them, by respecting yourself. Respecting yourself is way more important than respecting them.
Absolutely, well said.
And having that law of attraction of whatever it is you'd like around you, and honoring who you are.
Yeah, honoring who you are, but then going back to this whole thing of, it's almost like you can use the law of attraction as a wee bit of a feedback loop, right? Because like you just said, I love what you just said about respecting yourself. So when you respect yourself, you will see the reaction to that. It will show up. But if you're going around disrespecting yourself, making unhealthy choices, or maybe not getting enough sleep, or thinking bad thoughts about yourself, heavily critical thoughts about yourself, being judgy about yourself, then the feedback loop is going to be more of that.
Yeah.
Right?
But I mean, I think just to say, to add on to that, is you're going to do it. Do not think you wake up and, you know, I put my fingers in the air and go happy, quote, you're going to be happy. It's not about waking up happy and being happy all day, because that's just completely unrealistic. Nobody can be happy all day. But we can be grateful for our things that come in, and having our whoopsies or our lessons or whatever, and those people around. So, you know, if you're at a business event and someone's moaning about the speaker because they're 5 minutes late or something, is that somebody you'd like to be around? Why have you attracted that in? So be grateful that they've said that to you, and learn and go, actually, yeah, you know, you're right, the speaker was 5 minutes late, so would I do that next time? What can you learn from that? What can you learn from that person you're sitting beside who's having that moan about that person? You know, and so that's not a happy, I don't know why I put my hands in the air, quote.
Air quotes here.
Yeah. But it's actually about being grateful for that. And that's that lesson again. That's that lesson. And what did I put out to attract that in? But not, what did I put out that I've got a moaning person beside me?
Yeah. So I love what you said, what you've just shared there. It's reminding me of a client conversation I had a couple of weeks ago, where a client of mine she's doing all her work. She's really meditating and getting into a peaceful place. And she, according to her, here's me doing air quotes now, she attracted this real negative energy from her ex. And so she came to me saying, Moira, what have I done wrong? Because her take on it, what have I done wrong? So I said to her, maybe you've done nothing wrong. This could be all about he's acting out.
Or maybe his brown card, he's trying to put his brown cardie on you.
Exactly. And that's exactly what my point was, is that sometimes our role is to just bear witness to that. Don't ascribe and tell a story of, oh, this is all my creation. No, maybe your creation is how resilient and committed to your own positive energy are you? Can you sit in somebody else's bitching session or somebody else's meltdown and not ascribe blame or anything? Because maybe that emotion will just disappear when you just say, okay, it's not mine. I don't need to take ownership for this, but I'm here. I'm here.
And that's exactly it, you know, and it is they're trying to put their brown cardie on you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's up to you if you want to put that on and take that on. Or,
it's your choice. It still is your choice. Absolutely.
Yeah. Or you can just change it. Yeah. I'm a firm believer of when those things happen, I just stop and go, okay, what did I attract? Yeah. Law of attraction. What did I attract? Why did I attract that person beside me? You know, why did I attract that person who smells really badly? What was I thinking? Was I, you know, or whatever it is. But it's what did I learn from it?
Exactly. And just to land in it. Just to land in it and have a bit, maybe you could even have a bit of a sense of play of like, oh, wow, isn't this interesting? Look at where I am. Yeah. What's the gift here? What if we could get into what's the gift here?
Gift? I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the gift here? Because I wouldn't have created it for myself or attracted it if there wasn't something uplifting in there.
Yeah.
Right. And so for this client, I actually do think that she attracted that in some ways to prove that she is that resilient, that it's not affecting her.
Yeah.
You know?
And I guess with exes, you know, it's just a reminder that, oh, this is the reason why I'm not there.
Yes, exactly.
This is the reason.
Yeah.
But be grateful that they're, you know, and that's not that could be a self-righteous persona that, phew, thank God I'm not with that dick or whatever.
Could be.
But in reality, it's actually just a confirmation that, yes, oh, I'm so pleased I've made that decision, or they made that decision, or they did that, because it actually allows me to honor me for who I am.
Yeah.
And when they bleat and moan about something, you know, and have a go and try and put that brown cardie on you, you know, it's up to you to just go, okay, this is not my shite. This is yours, mate. This is yours.
Yep.
You know,
I'm never going to be able to look like a brown cardie again with the same attitude.
I have 2 of them, so I'm okay. But I do reference the brown cardie quite a bit because, it is, I worked for the council for many years, and people would get, it was quite interesting having that personality. They'd be at the council for 30, 40 years, well before when I was born then, clearly. But they'll be there and then they go, how did that 20, they'll be 55 or something. They go, how did that 22-year-old come in and take my job? I've been doing this job for years. And it's
right. Yeah.
And and it's that like attracts like, that energy. I wouldn't, personally, I would want fresh young blood and what's going on. If you can't change your thinking and evolve, maybe they've seen you as that brown card and you've been brown card in that role for 10, 15 years, so then you just go, okay, what is it I'm doing? Is it time for me to get out? Is it time for me to say what's going on? If you can't figure it out yourself, then ask.
Yeah.
But be aware that other people have a perception of you that's different to yourself is the other thing. So when you ask, and if you're asking the question, be prepared for an answer you're not thinking is going to happen.
But then also because sometimes other people's opinion of you is none of your business anyway.
Yeah.
And then other times it's more of a bit of a wake up to say, if in your example there, if a person's being misplaced by a younger person, what's the gift? There is a gift in there. So the thing is you can choose, and everybody can do this. Everybody can choose to tell the woe is me story, sucks to be me kind of scenario, or
I like that.
to say there's a bump in the road, and because there is suffering, there is pain. We can't deny that in this life. But we want to make sure that we're not getting stuck and replicating it by telling a big complainy type story.
Yeah.
Be sorry for yourself and say this sucks. I'm being misplaced or being demoted or I've lost my job. There's something good around the corner.
Yeah, and I think, and that's that old saying, one door closes, another one opens.
That's right.
I talked to a client yesterday and she was having a moan, and I say moan, it was a loose moan, not a full brown cardie, there was no sleeves on it. It was like a vest. And she was having a moan about how she didn't get a job and someone else had got a job, and she had asked for a pay rise and they said no, so she didn't take it. And somebody else came in and took it and they got a pay rise. And so she was having a bleat, a moan. And I said, but look what has just happened to you. You've just had an even bigger opportunity that's come in, da-da-da. And she's like, oh yeah, but I don't want to look at that yet.
Oh.
I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God,
so,
that's funny.
But her opportunity now, because I said to her, you would, if you had the second opportunity, you couldn't have done it because if you'd taken that other job.
Yeah.
And it was funny because she said, well, I'm not going to look at that now. And I'm like,
well,
okay.
But that's a great example of, for right now, I want to be pissed off.
Yeah.
And I want to tell this story for the time being.
Yeah. So I let her tell her story, and near the end of the call, I just slammed her graciously. I planted seeds throughout the call, but it was, and it is that one door closes, another one opens. People go, they break up in a relationship, they go, I'm never going to find anyone who loves me like they've loved me. And it's, who cares? Look, I mean, I've been single for 12 years. Who cares if you've been whatever? It wasn't, on my radar. But who cares that it takes so long to get to that? It's about finding yourself and what are those lessons, and then that door, when you're like attracts like, when that door really opens, you have that even bigger opportunity when you're ready to open your eyes. But while you're sitting in the brown cardie, opportunities you get more brown cardie and
off
slippers
with
around
the cardie.
you.
Off with the brown cardie. But you know
Rip
what? You're making me think.
Off.
You're making me think of a interpretation of that saying where you say, when one door closes, another opens. Somebody, and I think it might have been on Facebook a while ago, it says, when one door closes, another opens, but it's the hallways that are the bitch. So maybe in the hallways you're wearing your brown cardie.
Yeah, it's just slowly. Well, actually, I was thinking when that door closes behind you, make sure it doesn't swing and hit you hard on the ass is what I was thinking you were going to say. But you're right. That hallway is sometimes, and that's a long, dark hallway.
Sometimes it can be, but make sure that there's a coat hook.
You've got your head torch.
so you can, yeah, your head torch, and and you'll find a door, a wall hook to hang up that brown cardie and go open the new door.
Yeah, it's being, yeah, exactly. It's being open to what's around you. Yeah.
But also, so, you know, back to the example you were saying about your client, all too often, and I've seen this many times with different clients in different scenarios, that sometimes it's not enough to just tell the story once. Sometimes they really want to express the angst, the anxiety, the fear, the anger, the irritation, the sense of betrayal. That's okay. But just know that that's a limited space, that you are then going to release it and go into the next better feeling. And that is when the door is open. And because I don't know about you, Deb, but there have been times where I've come through really harsh, rough experiences. And then when I look back, I go, oh my God, look at the amazing outcome that actually got created because of that.
But while you're sitting in that hallway,
yep,
that is a shite place
it's
to be.
Yeah,
I really reference that hallway. Yeah. We've all been through it, but your level of hallway is different to my level of hallway, right, which is different to Bob's and Jane's and Annabelle's.
Absolutely is.
And you cannot compare your hallway to anyone else's. You know, you may both
crucial.
have, you know, there may be something that affects you. You know, that hallway could be you might lose your partner, and you're in that hallway, but your level of losing your partner to my level, to Bob's, to Jane's, to Annabelle, any of those things, that hallway is a different journey for each person. And I think it all comes back to that comparison of stop comparing your journey to someone else's. You know,
it's so unfair. It's unfair to them and you.
Yeah, you're not honoring who you are and everyone else around. And you know, people go, oh, I've lost my partner before, you know, that's whatever. Oh yeah, I broke up, or my partner's cheated on me, and I just say partner because that's one that's quite common for people. Or I lost my job, or I was made redundant. You know, I was made redundant 3 times, and I'm like, why me? Why me? You know, and it wasn't, and I was young. I couldn't understand. And then I went, oh my God, but it wasn't about why me. It was like, bonus, I've got money.
Right.
I can now actually do 3 weeks of something before I get my new job.
Yeah.
You know, it allowed me to have money to do stuff that I want to do.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, and and the reason they, you know, I was made redundant was because that job was disestablished, and that, you know, they changed it. So I wasn't going to stay.
Right.
The new job wasn't for me, so I could understand. But, you know, 3 times I told that story to many people. Oh, I'm made redundant again. Like, oh God, my stories.
But that's what I was trying to say. We do need to sometimes say them, but just make sure we don't keep repeating them too many times.
Yeah, well, I was brought up on that build a bridge, get over it from my family.
I like that
So
one.
if I ever moaned about something, Dad would say, oh, build a bridge, get over it. Get on that bridge. Get on that bridge pretty quickly. You know, get over it. And it'd be like, oh, okay. But I guess there's so much mental health, and I put my hands in the air to talk about mental health more and more now. The thing, it's not about building a bridge. It's about talking to somebody and finding that who you can talk to can resonate. And I think it's about respecting that person. If somebody comes to you and talks about that stuff, that is respecting them enough without jumping in and wanting to go, well, this is what you got to do.
To fix it or fix it or judge it. That's very, very important. And so here's something that in my work that I've often noticed is that sometimes people keep repeating their story because they actually have not been acknowledged to the depth that they need to be.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. And so to me, I do this work in my with my clients, is I will really come in and hold unconditionally accepting space. But the intention is we're going to go through this and really go through it and express everything that needs to be expressed, and then let it go once and for all. Change the vibration, change the whole, and that's because that's what we're talking about here is the law of attraction, is that once you truly and unconditionally voice
let it go,
express, then you let it go, and you then elevate your own vibration. right?
Yeah, and it's going to it's going to the next level. And don't
Yes.
think just because you've ripped that cardi off, you're at that perfect level, because every lesson is another level.
Oh yeah. No, we're never done. That's what this life is about, right?
We're never done. It ain't over till it's over. And when it's over,
You're
it
out.
keeps freaking going anyway. Yeah, I think they're yeah, but but I'm a firm believer on acknowledging each step.
Absolutely.
Acknowledge
Very
it,
important. Very, very
and I'm
important.
not talking about sit down and meditate and spend an hour doing this and then going over paperwork and spending another hour doing this and spending 3 or
No,
4
no,
hours a
no.
day on acknowledging. I'm talking about just standing outside and looking at the sunshine or the rain, or just acknowledging it, acknowledging that you've been in a yuck space, or
Yeah.
acknowledging that you've been in an amazing space, or and when I say acknowledge, gratitude, acknowledge and gratitude come hand in hand. Acknowledge it and go, okay, I'm ready to let you go now. I'm ready to go to the next level, whatever that is. Bring it to me.
Yeah. But
Without being an ass.
that's the key piece, and you know this, that in my 5-step formula, that step number 2 is acceptance. It's about just, you know what, I can't say it's right or wrong, good or bad, up or down. It just is.
Yeah.
And that's when we can start stepping into now what's next, what's possible now.
Yeah.
Because we can create beyond our own capacity for thinking.
Yeah. I was just thinking acceptance, I was thinking about that $1 million check.
Mm-hmm.
And
that you're going
I've
to
had
accept.
Clients,
You're going to accept that $1 million.
acceptance, check. I've had clients, and it's been quite interesting where they've wanted that money, and it is a want. It's a desperate need. If I had that money, I'd be able to spend this on bills, or I'd be able to pay this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the universe doesn't give you what you want; it gives you what it thinks you need.
Well, also in that though, if you sit there in want, the universe says, "Oh, you like sitting wanting." So I'm going to give you more circumstances and scenarios for you to want.
To want.
So seriously, because that's what, if you think about it, the law of attraction is responding to your vibration, and you're sitting there saying, I want this, I want this, I want this. I'll feel happy when this happens. I'll be able to live this type of standard of life. Then the universe is just going to keep giving you more things to bring that to you that you want. So to me, this is why it's important to by all means say, I'd like $1 million. I'd love $1 million or better, this or better. But then let go. And here's the thing that's really important for people who are specifically saying a specific level of money, for instance, because a lot of people do, is to get clear on what is it that would make you feel. So in what you just said, if I had $1 million, I'd pay off my bills. Well, what would that feel like? Well, it might feel like I'm free. It might feel I'm secure. It might feel like I'm...
So that alone changes your energy.
It absolutely does. Because here's the thing too, though. If it is that it helps you feel secure, or it gives you harmony or balance in your life, there are things you can do right here, right now, that's got nothing to do with money, that allows you to feel those feelings. Then the universe will present you with more things to feel that. And it could be money.
And that's where I've got my goosies,
It could be money, but in the meantime, you've got busy on creating the feeling that you want.
The crutch behind it, the core behind it,
Yeah, that's the key piece. And that in a nugget is what the key piece about the law of attraction is. By all means, name the big thing you want, the big fancy holiday, or the big fancy house, or the relationship, or the amount of money in your bank. By all means, play with that, but then distill it down and down and down until you get the essence of what would that give you. In your feelings, and then start feeling it. Start getting busy on creating those feelings right in this very moment.
And can I just say, that is so easy.
Yeah.
But that is so easy. What will this give you? Like, that's a quick solution to what will this give you? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm wandering, I'm thinking.
It's the key. It is the key to it. It is the key to really playing your part, because here's the other part about this law of attraction is you are co-creating with the universe. So you need to do your part, and then it responds, and it's a dance. It's an organic dance that goes back and forth. Too often we get too much into, oh, I'm doing it wrong because it's not showing up fast enough. It's like, well, it happens in its right time.
Yeah, and I think yeah. Well, see, even around that money, I'm just gonna go back to, I love the way you reference that, but even with that money, and when we say we want an influx of money, and and then the universe is going to reward that, sometimes we're not clear on where that money is going to come from.
Yes.
I remember I had a client many, many, many years ago, and they just wanted more money, and then their family both died.
Oh gosh.
And they got an influx of money.
Wow.
And that's what they always wanted. And so they weren't clear on what it was. Like, okay, I want money, but didn't think, okay, well, you've got all the money in the world right now because that's happened.
Right.
But it came from a place where they didn't expect that, and then everything's gone from that.
Right.
So they were so focused on, that's why I think, when you said, what is it going to make you feel? I think that's really a great one, Moira, because they were so focused on, I just want that, well, it wasn't $1 million, but I just want that $1 million, or I'd never want to worry about money again. Not thinking, and they got that. They got the, I'm never going to have to worry about money again.
Yeah.
But in reality, it came from a place that was just a massive learning lesson for them on,
that's
the law of attraction
sad.
and that.
That's like the I ask for something and then you get it and you go, oh no, not that.
Not that, and I didn't want it that way. Yeah. Or hello. Yeah.
So you're right. It is being very clear. But here's the piece on that, is that it's being very clear on what is that you want to feel.
Yeah, I love that
experience. It's so important.
Yeah.
So important.
Yeah. I love that, and I think just write that down, because that is such a vital one. What do you want to feel? And what, how, and where is it now, and what can you do?
What can you do? Because sitting ruminating about it not being there is not really going to cut it either.
Well, if you're going to manifest a partner sitting inside a house with a closed door,
it's not going to work
unless someone comes and knocks on your door and comes through to your house. You have to open the door. You got to open the door and get in that bloody hallway.
That's right. Bloody hallway. Well, my dear Deb, I hope that this conversation about law of attraction has helped people open up to it a little bit more and sort of deepen the understanding of it. We could keep talking for hours, I'm sure, about how this could work.
I love the way this one, because the law of attraction can be heavy for some people, but I love the way we've referenced it, and very light and achievable.
Yes, attainable. That's the thing that I think is really important to make people understand, or to help people understand it is attainable, no matter where you are or what it is you want to create. It is within your grasp. Yeah.
So, people, please, humans, people, please, please tell us what is your law of attraction? What do you do, and how do you get there, and
how does it work for you?
I'm nosy. I want to know.
We'd love to hear from listeners about their feedback or their experiences or insights into using the law of attraction for themselves. Or could you step it up? Could you step it up? I think we all could.
And can I just say, it's okay to have your brown cardies in your house. You don't have to go through and rip everything away and put on your red jacket. It's okay to have your brown cardie, but be aware of that brown cardie.
It is okay, and it's okay to be in the hallway for as long as it's right for you.
Because that door can come closer when you're ready.
That's right. So, dear listeners, thank you again for listening, and thank you so much, Deb. This has been awesome.
Thank you so much, Moira. Thank you, everybody, and we'll chat to you soon. Thank you.
Chat to you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.